All right, Club World Cup Group C. We've got Bayern Munich of Germany, Auckland City of New Zealand, Boca Juniors of Argentina, and Benfica of Portugal. I'll start with Auckland City because I probably have the least to say about them. They are the equivalent of Al Ahly or Real Madrid in Oceania. Absolutely dominant in the OFC Champions League, pretty dominant in the New Zealand League as well. Like, they are the undisputed kings of Oceanic football. The issue is, Oceanic football is not of a very high standard, to where even though they're very good at winning the OFC Champions League, that very rarely has translated into Club World Cup success. And that's alright. They've got a squad that wouldn't be too much out of place in, say, the National League in England. So it's not like they're a massive world beating team. They shouldn't really be expected to win that many games, but every once in a while they've pulled off an upset, most notably in 2014 when they managed to finish third at the Club World Cup, beating Cruz Azul of Mexico in the third place match, which is a really big deal and something that should be lauded because that is an exceptional achievement. The issue is that has been fairly rare from Auckland City. More or less, they've tended to struggle in the Club World Cup. Even though they've been there more than any other team, they don't tend to do too well. A lot of their players don't even have Wikipedia pages. One of them also captains the New Zealand futsal team, which is a pretty cool thing, but not something you'd see that much at the like super elite mega clubs per se. There's a very good chance that Auckland City loses all three of their games by quite some margin, and any goal they do score should probably be celebrated because it's be awesome to see them do well. I don't know. Maybe I'm overselling how hopeless Auckland City's chances are, but there's a reason Oceania was only given one spot at the Club World Cup. And I'm really glad that Oceania did get a spot at the Club World Cup. And it'll be great to see Auckland City have a go at some of these very big European and South American teams. It's just that I don't see them doing too much at the tournament. So we'll go from the team that I consider to be probably locked in for last to the team I imagine will finish first without too much of a sweat, Bayern Munich. And Bayern had, by most metrics, just about a successful season. Their standards are obviously very high. They won the Bundesliga again, which means that they're back on track after finishing, I think it was actually third last season, not even second. Obviously, Bayern Munich are domestic giants. If they don't win the Bundesliga, their season is viewed as a failure. So Company has just about done enough in his first season in charge there. They didn't win the DFB Pokal, though. They actually got knocked out fairly early there. And in the Champions League, they didn't really take their chances against Inter Milan, and so went out in the quarterfinals. Still, there's a feeling I'd say that this squad hasn't quite reached their full potential or hasn't quite achieved what they're capable of. So this is an opportunity for them, I guess, to kind of express themselves in a world setting that like they very well could go on and win the Club World Cup. I don't think they're the absolute favorites, but they're not like outsiders either. They have a shot at it. And that could be a way to really establish themselves because they have a very good team. It's just about whether they can actually fully reach their potential, which they did all right this season, but were maybe a little bit disappointing in the Champions League. Could have done better. So this is their chance, I guess, to show how good they can be. I assume that Benfica will finish runners up, and that's mainly because I don't actually have a lot of hope for Boca Juniors right now. I understand they are domestic giants in Argentina. They're also one of the most successful sides in South American football. But obviously, the Argentinian league has fallen quite a ways behind Brazil in recent times. Boca Juniors did make the Libertadores final in 2023, but then didn't qualify for the Libertadores in 2024 and got knocked out by Alianza Lima in the qualifying stages of the Copa Libertadores this year. They also have a pretty old squad, chief among them Edison Cavani, who's, a big name player, but is also 38 now, and that might do all right against some opponents in the Premier Division, but I struggle to see him doing well against Bayern Munich. I just think he's too old. It's the same issue I had with Inter Miami, who seemed to basically just assembled Barcelona's 2015 Champions League winning team, which, they on their day, when they were at their absolute best, they were world beaters, but that was 10 years ago. And I kind of feel the same way about Cavani. I'm not sure if it's going to go well. They also, Boca Juniors got knocked out in the quarterfinals in the Apertura of the Premier Division. Like, I don't know. It seems like this was a team that a few years ago was looking really good and have kind of just been stagnating and declining since then. So I don't have too much hope for Bosa Juniors, especially since I think Benfica could be, slight dark horses in the tournament. They've done pretty well this year. They were probably quite frustrated to have finished behind Sporting, both in the cup final, losing to them in extra time, as well as finishing 2 points behind them in the Premier League. So they have done pretty well. They also had some really good results in the Champions League and played Barcelona pretty close. It's just that they haven't managed to knock off. They haven't managed to knock off Sporting CP in Portugal, and so that'll be frustrating for a team that is very used to finishing first and winning trophies within Portugal and doing quite well on the world stage. They're actually the first team not named Real Madrid to win the UEFA Champions League, or I guess it was the European Cup at that point. So they have a lot of history, and I think they have a pretty good squad that's maybe heading in the right direction. By and large, it's fairly young. With a few experienced players in there. Di Maria is very old, but he seems to be the outlier there, so I'm not going to really hold his age against the squad too much. And that's not to say, obviously, that age can't be a good thing. Like, age can work really well. The more experienced the player is, the better suited they are to, see out some really tough situations. I still think youth, by and large, is a better thing. Even though you lack experience, just the older your body gets, the harder it is to cope with the physical stress of playing football, where you're covering 7 miles of ground every game. It's a lot to do when you're older, and that's mainly why I'm saying I don't think Bosa Juniors are going to do that well, and why I think why I think Bayern and Benfica are going to do better. I am kind of interested in this group just because it seems like a lot of teams who maybe have something to prove, whether that be Bosa Juniors, who have been struggling as of recent and haven't been in the Libertadores in 2 years, Benfica, who have finished second to Sporting CP in the two major competitions in Portugal, or Bayern, who kind of had a moderately disappointing year in the Champions League. All three of them have something to prove. Really, the only ones who don't are Auckland City, who, as previously stated, probably have the worst shot of progressing. So I'm going to go with Bayern and Benfica. I would say I wouldn't be surprised Bosa get through, but actually I think I would be. I don't have that much trust in Bosa Juniors right now, so I'm fairly confident in saying that Bayern are going to finish first and Benfica second, but perhaps I'll be wrong.